Hi, I'm the prophet who keeps getting the date wrong for the apocalypse, Mario.
And I'm the one that convinces you that everybody's the enemy, Hadia. And welcome to Alrightness Crimes. The True Crime Review YouTube series where two sociopaths rate crimes and tell you about them, whether you like it or not. Because we've got opinions about things.
Whether you like it or not.
Oh,
I like that intro better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It flows a little easier.
Yeah, because we've already said it.
Yeah.
All right.
Here
we go.
Alrightness.
Okay,
do you want to go first this time?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to do Jim Jones and the Jonestown Massacre.
Hey. Oh my god.
I got my information from Murderpedia and Wikipedia.
My crime references your crime at one point.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Okay, that was weird. Okay, let's get spooky.
That's what we do.
So, the Jonestown Massacre, I'm going to start from the end.
Okay.
The People's Temple Agricultural Project was located in northwestern Guyana. It became internationally known on November 18th, 1978, when 918 people died on the settlement and at Temple Run building in Georgetown, capital of Guyana. The name became synonymous with the city, hence Jonestown. 907 individuals died at Jonestown from cyanide poisoning, which was also termed as revolutionary suicide by Jim Jones.
He's saying his own suicide was revolutionary.
Yes, you'll see why. He was very much
He's very into himself.
Oh, yeah.
I like this.
Yeah. So the mass suicide came after the murder of 5 other people by the temple members at Port Kaituma, including Congressman Leo Ryan. Congressman Leo Ryan showed up there because you'll see. We'll see. But and then there was 907 on the place that died by cyanide poisoning, and then 2 that died from gunshots, including Jones himself.
Elsewhere.
No, they still died on the thing.
Oh.
So 909 people died on the settlement. 5 people died in an airplane beforehand, and then 4 other members committed murder-suicide. 70 people were injected. The guards were ordered to either shoot on sight or inject them if they got scared. 304 of them were minors, not minors, minors.
Minors.
Not a grown man who digs in a hole. Children. Guards were armed.
Death funny.
Guards are armed with crossbows and guns in order to shoot anybody who fled, but no one really fled. It was the single largest loss of American civilian life by deliberate act until September 11th.
Oh.
Yeah. Jim Warren Jones was born May 13th, 1931. He was the founder of the People's Temple group, which became synonymous with the group suicide after November 18th. He was born in Indiana, and he graduated high school, became a preacher in the 1950s. He attained a bachelor's degree at Butler University in 1961. And after graduate school from Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana, he sold pet monkeys door to door to raise money to fund his own church that would be named Wings of Deliverance.
Who's buying pet monkeys?
White people.
I mean,
because it is Indiana. He started a struggle for racial equality and social injustice, which he dubbed apostolic socialism. He authored a booklet called The Letter Killeth, pointing out that what he felt were contradictions, absurdities, and atrocities in the Bible. But the booklet also stated that the Bible contains great truths. He also claimed to be an incarnation of Jesus, Akhenaten, Buddha, Lenin, not John Lennon, Mussolini. I mean, not Mussolini. What's his name? And Father Divine. Father Divine is going to be my next person.
Why are all these cult leaders reincarnations of Jesus?
Because in order to be a cult leader, you have to have a great amount of narcissism. And the next best thing
also went by
thinks he's Jesus. They all do, because you have to be they have a savior complex.
Yeah.
And who's a better savior than Jesus? All the X-Men, we know that, but still.
Wolverine himself is a better Jesus than Jesus. Danny DeVito as Wolverine would be a better savior Jesus than Jesus.
And he performed supposed miracle healings to attract new members. Members of the Jones Church called Jones father and or dad, including the adults, children and adults, and believed that their movement was the solution to the problems of society. And many did not distinguish Jones from the movement. The group gradually moved away from mainstream. So, that happened. I should have turned my page while I was reading that.
No, it's fine.
So after criticism for his Jesus, I can't read my handwriting. After receiving criticism for his integrationist views, he moved the temple to Redwood Valley, California in 1965. In the 70s, the temple then opened branches in Los Angeles and San Francisco. He eventually moved the headquarters to San Francisco, and then that's when they became politically involved with like senators, lawmakers, all that stuff. In 1973, after problems with the media, the temple decided to establish an agricultural mission in Guyana. And so a couple people did leave the church, and they claimed that they were abused, very much like Scientology. And so he was being investigated for that. In order to escape that, he was like, no, look at all the good we're doing in Guyana. And the reason he did that was because they were a socialist country. They were predominantly indigenous and black. And so he felt that it would give his black members they would feel safer there.
Hey, pay no attention to the atrocities we're doing here. Look at all this great we're doing here.
They didn't do anything bad except for the possibility that they were abusing people. Like, they weren't going out like murdering people and stuff like that. But because I didn't see much about what the claims were about the abuse. And so
I'm sure it was just like, isolation and beatings.
And I think you'll see later there's a woman who had a note laying next to her. They chose Guyana because it's English speaking also. Yeah, that was the other reason. So Jones purchased 3,800 acres of jungle land that wasn't good for agriculture, even though that's what they claimed to go there for.
They just bought it.
It was just in the middle of the jungle near no water. It was 7 miles away from the nearest body of water, and you had to take muddy roads to get there.
So it was basically just like a Swiss bank account, but in the rainforest.
Yes, and then it was 150 miles from Georgetown, the capital. So even if you wanted to go to a hospital, you still had to drive 150 miles.
I mean, if you're going 150 miles an hour, you'll get there real fast.
You'll get there in an hour, actually.
Is that how time works?
No. It was, so 500 people went out to Guyana to build it. They built it, lived on it, tried to farm on it, kept it up and stuff like that. And then later in 1977, Jones and several hundred, the other 400 people, moved to Jonestown following another media investigation.
Did they name it Jonestown after him, or was it already called Jonestown?
No, it was named after him because it was near Georgetown.
Georgetown,
the capital.
Yeah. Got it.
So they were seen as benevolent initially. They were just a benevolent community where everyone, like his wife was saying, we want everybody to be equal racially, socially, and economically here. Because he was very big into socialism, and he wanted socialism to be like, he said, where is it that I wrote? He said, they claimed those drugged with the opiate of religion had to be brought to enlightenment. Socialism. That's enlightenment. That's pretty much it. For creativity, I gave it a 7 because he plagiarized. He took all his methods from other cult leaders and genocide-ists. Shock value, also a 7. Like, it's a good shock that he managed to get 918 people to kill themselves. So 7 because that's pretty shocking, but also it's a cult. How else is it going to end? Longevity, I give it 10 because 23 years is a long fucking time. That's a whole human's life. Professionalism, also a 10 because he managed to start a church and trick people that, honestly, you don't see that many black people in cults. The punishment, I only give it a 1 because he killed himself and he didn't get to be punished. So that total is 35. Divided by 5 is 7 out of 10 gavels.
Okay.
All right.
I give it 4 out of 10 for creativity because it's a cult. You can't get super creative.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still, he had some funky beliefs, some funky ideas. Shock, I gave it a 4 out of 10, probably because I already knew about it, so it wasn't as shocking. But also, it's a cult. How else was it going to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Longevity, I gave it 8 out of 10 because while that is a long time, mine was way longer.
Ooh.
Unless I did my math wrong, which is entirely possible because gays can't do math. Professionalism, I gave him a 10 out of 10 because he managed to, literally welcome the government in and get away with it still.
Yeah.
Went through he was very, very thought out and very methodical. He gets it. And for punishment, I gave him a 2 out of 10 because he killed himself, and that's the coward's way out. Yep. Well, but, I mean, everyone else died too.
Not coward's way, but I mean, if you don't want to be punished for what you're doing, sure.
Yeah, I would have given him a 1, but I just felt like 2 felt more.
That's okay.
So that's
justify it to me.
24 divided by 5 is 4.8.
4.8 bloodstains?
Yeah. 4.8 bloodstains.
So then altogether, we give this. So those two added up together equal 19.8. So it's a 9 out of 9, a 9.9.
Okay.
That's
good
the overall.
For
you have to get a 10 now.
The Family International, formerly known as the Children of God.
I think I know who this is.
Probably.
Do they have a documentary on Netflix?
Several. They're very well known.
I do know who this is.
Quite well known.
Yes, and they're still going.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I have their website open.
Ooh.
Which went through a rebranding.
I'm gonna open it.
That they called The Reboot. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
So originally started as the Children of God in 1968 by David Berg, who pretty much just made like a hippie commune.
Yeah.
That practiced free love, but also Christianity.
Yeah.
Which then quickly spiraled into weird shit, like all cults do.
Oh, this website is horrible.
Yeah, it's disgusting design, but there you go. He was a charismatic evangelical preacher and devoted himself to the worship of Jesus Christ and promiscuous sex.
Okay.
Because those two go together.
Uh-huh.
Basically, the tenets were God loves you, and to show you his love, you have to have sex with him.
With the man. With him.
No, with Jesus. So anytime that you were having sex with somebody, you were having sex with Jesus. Including, but not limited to, masturbation. In which men were encouraged to fantasize that they are a woman as to avoid a homosexual relationship with Jesus. Like most cults, they're encouraged to give up all their worldly possessions, not specifically to the church, but just give up everything.
Get them up. Yeah.
Which they did. In a 1974 report, the New York Attorney General's office called the Children of God a cult because their practices drew investigations from the FBI and Interpol.
Oh shit!
Because they're a worldwide organization.
They got fucking.
They went
007 involved?
Yeah, they got very far, very fast. One anonymous informant spoke of rape, incarceration, kidnapping, and incest inside the group. Like you do.
Yeah.
Because people were encouraged to have sex with their parents, siblings, neighbors, pretty much anyone that was there, under the guise of exploring their sexuality in a natural way.
No, that's not natural. We don't have only 9 people on the planet. You don't need to fuck your sister anymore.
There was more than 9.
No, I'm saying
yeah.
Yeah. This isn't the year 2. We don't need to sleep with our sisters and brothers anymore.
Yeah, no. It was it gets there. The investigation ended in 1994 when Berg died. But in 2009, the organization started to crumble and their church disintegrated. Quasi.
A little bit. Okay.
Mostly.
That's your foot.
Yeah, it is my foot. You want to be my sister?
Nope.
And I know.
Shut it. Shut it down.
You shut your fucking white mouth.
Shut your mouth. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Reports documented Berg's proclivity for incest, and witnesses testified that child rape was used as an excuse to increase the tribe, leading to many pregnancies in various communities. They were started off as a bunch of like teenage runaways and just like troubled people who didn't like
Marvel's Runaways premise.
Kind of, but more of like, oh, you're like kind of a drug addict. Oh, you're kind of like antisocial.
Yeah.
Let's get into a big like nudist commune that also fucks each other. A 14-year-old runaway who spent 9 days at the Children of God commune testified that she was raped, and because of her refusal to cooperate with the elders, was held in solitary confinement for no less than three separate occasions. Because age is not a limit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially if they're telling you to have sex with everybody.
Like, everybody.
Jeez.
A well-known actor who grew up in the Children of God church told Details magazine in 1991 that he was 4 years old when he first had sex while in the group.
Who is it?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
Okay. But you have to give me a hint.
Well, he's since dead.
Okay.
Hence late actor. His brother just won an award for a film he was in.
Oh, I don't fucking know this stuff. Oh! River Phoenix?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I knew he was in a cult, but I
Their
know it's this
entire
one.
family, every single one of them, grew up in this church.
Jesus Christ.
And I have a whole list here of like other celebrities who were born into and then later left, because if they're still in there, they're not going to say they're in there.
Yeah.
But River, Joaquin, Rain, and Summer Phoenix,
Dang.
as well as their other sister Liberty, were all members.
Other sister Liberty.
I think she's the only one that's not an actress. Rose McGowan was also born into this group.
That explains why she's so weird.
Christopher Owen, Celeste Jones, Christina Jones, Juliana Burring, Suzanne Justice, Tina Dupuy, D-U-P-U-Y, Ricky Rodriguez, who we'll get to later.
Okay.
He's fun.
Is he... No, keep going.
Lauren Ho, Flora Edwards, Dawn Watson, Taylor Stevens were all people who were born into this group and then left, as well as Jeremy Spencer, one of the founding members of Fleetwood Mac. Berg's philosophy, which he called the Law of Love, was a blend of Christian dogma and the free love ideas of the 1960s sexual revolution. To get new members, he encouraged the women of the group to go out and do what he called flirty fishing, which was basically convince men to fuck you and then bring them back into the fold.
Yeah.
Basically...
I'm sorry, no one's genitals are good enough to get you to join a cult. No one's genitals are worth joining a cult.
Alright, so Berg, with his long white beard and apocalyptic visions, saw himself as the last prophet before Armageddon. He communicated to his followers using these letters called the Mo letters. Whatever. Stated that he was God's prophet for the contemporary world, attempting to further solidify his spiritual authority within the group. Like you do. But his letters contain public acknowledgments for his own failings and weaknesses. I'm fucked up just like you.
Yeah.
But I can see the Lord.
Yeah, you could see him.
By 1972, they had 130 communities around the world.
Communities? I thought you were going to say people.
No.
Jesus Christ.
No. Because... I think they capped out at 15,000 people total. That's all I got.
Jesus
on
Christ.
Jesus. It's still going on to this day. There's a website.
I found
it. Like, knowing this stuff, I want you...
TFI.org.
They have an entire segment in this website called Children, the Hope of the Future. We believe that every child has the right to be loved, cherished, and supported, to be treated with respect and dignity, to receive responsible care, and to be handled with kindness, to be encouraged and nurtured emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually, to have their physical needs adequately met, including nutrition, housing, and medical care, to receive a good education that provides competence and empowers them to be self-sufficient, because they also weren't allowed to go to schools, they had to be self-taught.
It makes sense. That's what a lot of cults do.
To be taught good values and morals to guide them in life, to learn about God's personal love and care for them, to be taught boundaries and self-discipline, to be empowered to realize their full potential, prepared for responsibilities and challenges of adulthood, which they don't do, to develop their individuality, be treated fairly and justly without discrimination, and to be in a safe environment, to be protected from harm and danger. And then they just go on about like how important it is to keep children protected and their child protection policies, which is all part of the rebranding reboot. But you can sign up online.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So I gave this one a 3 out of 10 for creativity because it's a cult and they're not that creative. But, you know, the whole think of yourself as a woman while masturbating so you're not in a homosexual relationship with Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna bump that up. I'm gonna give that a 4 because that's a moment. Yeah. Shock value, I give it a 7 out of 10 because it involves not only pedophilia but incest. Yeah. And like just child like intergenerational orgies, I guess would be the term. So 7 out of 10 because that's fucking disgusting. But also it's a cult, so what else was you expecting? Yeah. Longevity, I gave it a 10 out of 10 because it is still going. When did it start again? 1968? 1968, I said? Yeah. And we're in 2020. 52 years. And still going. A little less strong, but it's still going. Professionalism, I gave it a 10 out of 10 because when they had these like allegations of like child endangerment, child rape, and incest, they were like, no, come on in. Like, they actually allowed the FBI access to everything.
Yeah, well, when you do that, it makes it look like you don't have anything to hide.
Yes.
Even though you do.
But they were
they got the most terrifying children to put on this website.
Because they're children of
all of these kids are dead behind the eyes.
Oh, yeah. Because they're probably actually dead. It's disgusting. So I give it a 10 out of 10 for professionalism because like it was well organized. They knew their demographic. They had believers. It was really hard to get people to break away in general. Yeah. It was only after Berg died that people started breaking away.
Jesus, his life and message. Jesus and the tax collectors.
Punishments, I gave it a 2 out of 10 because Berg just kind of died. Yeah. And they're still going, so there isn't any real punishment. There's documentaries. There's tons of media. Yeah. They've been referenced in music. They have books. They've got several documentaries. So overall, I gave it 30 out of 50. So divided by 5 is 6.
Venmo, what the hell? Okay, so yours is 6?
Yes.
So I gave mine. I gave it a 9 for creativity because have sex with everybody. I mean, don't, especially if they're children and your family. Shock value, also a 9 because what the fuck? I knew about this, like, but I didn't know about this, I guess. Like, I remember seeing a documentary, I only watched the first episode, where this guy was like, yeah, like, I joined this like, it was a Christian-based house, and it was my first time being in college, so I thought it was going to be, like, you know, it was going to be really cool because I grew up Christian and blah, 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 and I was just like, ugh. Longevity, I gave it a 10 because, Jesus Christ, it's, like, only a few years short of Scientology. Because Scientology was, like, I think, like, 1965 or something like that. Professionalism, I also gave it a 10 because, yeah, like, they were crafty. And they're still crafty. Yeah. If they're crafty enough to still have people as in their church,
I mean,
even
if you look at the people, if you look at the people in this picture, those are pedophiles and people who are into incest.
Oh yeah, 100%. But still, like, you still manage to find those people. Yeah. And then punishment, I gave it a 4 because he just died, and nothing's really happened.
He deserved to die.
Yeah, but also he should have to live with what he's done too. So overall, that was a 42, and then divided by 5 is an 8.4. So what was yours? Yours was 6 plus 8.4. So that's a 14.4 divided by 2, 7.2.
This just in, our viewers are smelling something fishy. And they were right. Turns out the numbers weren't adding up, and that smell was baloney. We received the current numbers, and although Mario did win, it was just by a small margin. This has been another Alrightness TV breaking news. Back at ya.
I'm bad at math.
Mario.
I told you I was bad at math.
God. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm
bad at math.
I gave you a much better, what you call it, than mine.
Yeah, that's why I
like
was
mine
confused for a minute.
alone should have given you.
Should put me over.
Yeah. Idiot.
I am.
Well,
hey, I won.
that's crimes.
Alrightness crimes.
Yeah.
Remember, when committing future crimes, that they're at least
All right.
alright.
Bye.
Bye. If you liked that video, click here to subscribe.
Or click here.
To see our previous one.
Oh yeah, those will be here.
And if you want to see a playlist of everything from this specific segment,
Mm-hmm.
click right here.
Just click our crouches.
Crotch away.